Hello, how you doing? I'm talking to you today about Charlie Kirk. Now, I had no idea who he was before this incident happened. Okay, I had never even heard of him before this incident happened. So don't write me a nasty comment like, "Why are you talking about him?" Then that's a silly comment. It's called free speech. Okay. Um, I am very sad that he died. What my question is, what kind of country have we become? It was a horrible thing to happen. um like I said, my fundamental question is, what kind of country have we become? This hate mongering that Trump has started, and he's been doing it for a while, this is what it leads to. Is this what it leads to, this hate mongering that he keeps spreading? I don't have any answers. I don't have any answers why we have become the country that we have become. Why do we have a hate mongering president? I don't have any questions. I don't have any answers. Um, the Bible says, Jesus said, "Don't curse the darkness, light a candle." He said that in the New Testament. I remember reading it decades ago. I'll find out later where he said it, but I definitely remember reading that. He said, "Don't curse the darkness, light a candle." What does that mean? Okay, if I see a black man on Skid Row, I don't need to curse him. I don't need to say, "What in the world? What is wrong with him? Why didn't he go to school? Why doesn't he make $1 million a month so he can house himself? Um, what is wrong with him? Why can't he live the American dream? Why can't he be like the Asians? Why can't he be like the criminal Hispanics and make some money? Why is he on Skid Row?" But the Bible says, "Don't curse the darkness, light a candle." Now, if I had the money, what I would actually do is find housing for him, maybe an apartment. Well, maybe I would say, "Where do you want to live? Do you want to live in Tennessee?" I'd buy him some land in Tennessee if I had the money, which I don't. But if I did, I would not curse the darkness. I would light a candle. Now, Kirk, he complained and criticized Black culture. He made a lot of money. Anybody's always going to make a lot of money when they curse Blacks, when they complain and blame Blacks for everything wrong that's in this country. They're going to make a lot of money. So the implication I get is that everything bad happened to white America is the fault of the Black culture. Everything bad in white America, excuse me, it's the fault of Black culture. Be like me, lily white, G.I. Joe haircut, 2 white children. Okay, be like him. That's the impression I got. Okay, be like him. Don't be like the black man on Skid Row. Don't be like the black man that's living on the street. Be like him. Okay. Even though I don't hear anything about him struggling at all. Okay. I don't hear anything about him struggling at all. But he criticizes Black culture. But the problem is that he does not understand Black culture. He's made no efforts at all to understand Black culture. He has no understanding of slavery. He has no understanding of Jim Crow. He doesn't know what it's like to live under Jim Crow. He has no understanding of the civil rights movement. What he didn't understand about the civil rights movement, excuse me, is that we had no civil rights. The Constitution says that we did. Okay. He didn't understand that. Why? Because he didn't research. He should have read slave narratives. He would have understood slavery better. He would have understood how men, women, and children were systematically raped and lynched for no reason, head chopped off, just because the waffles were made wrong. He had no understanding of that. He had no understanding of Black businesses that were burned down. He had no understanding of Black towns that were burned down, Black towns that were drowned. He had no understanding of that, inexplicably. How about the Black churches, the Black schools that were burned down? He had no understanding of that. Neither did he want any understanding of that. He has no understanding of American Indian culture. What really happened? Well, look, what he didn't understand was that America was founded upon violence. Kill the American Indian, take his land. Have blacks as slavery, kill a few. They don't even get any land. He didn't understand that this country was founded on violence, kidnapping, rape, all of that. He didn't understand that. He just didn't understand it. And like I said, he had absolutely no understanding of the civil rights struggle. He should have done some research to see who the true kings of this world really were. He had no understanding of that. But I would think that since he is in eternity, he's learning a few things about Black culture, ancient Black culture too. What describes him, in my opinion, is Psalm 73. It says, Psalm 73, the prosperity of the wicked. Of course, if he criticizes and complains about Black culture, he's going to make a whole lot of money. He's going to be the prosperity of the wicked. They're not in trouble like other men. He's not in trouble like other men. He didn't worry about being robbed. He didn't have to worry about going to jail. His siblings not going to jail. He's not plagued like other men. He doesn't understand how hard it is for a Black parent to keep their children out of gangs. He didn't understand that. Pride served as his necklace. That's what it says in Psalm 73. Pride. He's walking around pompous and proud. Be like me. I'm lily white, and he has a G.I. Joe haircut. He's a super white. He's a member of the super whites. Violence cover them. If you sow violence, if you sow hatred, you're going to reap violence. You're going to reap hatred. That's just true. Look what happened to Donald Trump. I think a lot of people who propagate hatred and violence don't understand that it's a possibility that something bad may happen. I mean, history has shown what happens to people who propagate hate. History has shown that. He's probably earning better than $1 million a month. So why didn't he help? Why didn't he get one Black man off of Skid Row? Buy him land, buy him a house, give him some money, give him a car. He had the money to do that. Why didn't he go to Kentucky to help those poor whites who lost their house in the flood? Why didn't he tell the state of Kentucky, look, I'll build an underground piping system so there won't be any more floods? I get the letters from the charities, okay? I know how people are living in Kentucky. Why didn't he build a decent house for a lot of elderly that are living in ramshackle houses in Kentucky? It's plenty where that came from, and West Virginia, and Virginia for that matter. Plenty where that came from. In Psalm 73, it says he has more than heart could wish. Him and his wife have more money than they could ever spend. He scoffs. He speaks wickedly. He set his mouth against the heavens. His tongue walks through the earth. He had an international following, not even a national following. He had an international following. If he had asked me, I would have told him, don't try to imitate or emulate Trump. Don't try to be like Donald Trump. You see what happened to Donald Trump? He missed that bullet by 1/4 of an inch. Okay? So, see, hatred has to beget hatred. History has shown what happens to hate mongers. History has shown that. The Bible says, don't curse the darkness, light a candle. Jesus said that. Not one time did he get one Black person off of Skid Row. Not one time did he help a Black kid go to school. Not one time did he help a white kid go to school or any ethnic minority go to school. Okay? Not one time did he get even a white person off the streets. There's plenty of handicapped white people with multiple sclerosis or whatever. How about the elderly white people on the street? That's unconscionable. Why didn't he help them get off the street? What about, forget he's not gonna help the elderly Blacks, okay? You can forget that. But there's plenty of white people who are on the street, elderly white people. He had some money to get them off the street. Why didn't he? See, that's why hate mongering is a delusion. They are deluded into thinking people like them when there's a lot of people that don't like them. There's a lot of people that hate them. They are delusional that they can just carry this on for years and years and years, that there is no end. But yes, there is an end. Why didn't he help the poor whites in Kentucky? Why didn't he buy some abandoned land and build it out and say, look, you can live here? Look, I get the letters from churches. I know how poor people are. I have a really good idea how poor people are in America. I get the letters from the charities. So that's what I would have told him. I would have told him, don't curse the darkness, don't light a candle. That's what I would have told him. And I would have taken him to Psalm 73. I would have told him that you sow hatred, you're going to reap hatred. Whatever man soweth, that shall he also reap. That's what I would have told him.